What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Grind Force Gaming. Thank you for checking out the channel. I am Falcon, and today I'm coming at you in Street Fighter Duel to talk about the 5 team stages. That's right, we're going to have a late game conversation. So those of you who are in the late game, the end game with me, and you're now encountering stages in the campaign where you need to use 30 fighters total, if you include the assist slots, in order to progress through a single stage. If you're there with me, this video is for you. Specifically, we're going to be honing in on level 40-24, which is the first 5-team stage that you encounter. Let's get into it. Before we get going, please take a moment to subscribe to the Grind Force Gaming channel. We've got lots of great videos, especially on Street Fighter Duel. We've got a great playlist for you to check out if you haven't seen our other stuff. And if this video helps you out, if I help you to beat one of these levels or set up for these 5-team stages, please remember to drop a like before you take off. Now let's jump into these 5-team stages, starting with 40-24. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to want to see this, so I'm going to throw up on screen all 5 of the teams that I use. So you can see every fighter that I've chosen and where they're positioned. You can see the combo chain. You can see which X moves I've selected. That should give you some ideas based on what worked for someone else. You can kind of tailor this to your own lineup. So feel free to grab a quick snapshot of this here before we get going any further. Now I'm going to dive in and show you exactly how each of these teams worked. Whew. All right, so we're working with 5 teams now. As you can see, you can scroll through and kind of get a preview of what the enemy is using. Try to plan accordingly so that you have the interrupts lined up against the teams that are most likely to deal heavy damage. Make sure you distribute your X moves in a way that allows everyone to have like one clutch winner moment. Virgil's X move is an amazing one. The new Turtles Pizza X move's pretty good for this. Toxic Love is a great one. Single moves that can turn the tide of a battle. First team here. This is kind of all about Viper. She's my damage dealer. She's one of the units that I consider to be a win condition, basically. What you want to have happen here is you want to get past every level just barely. You want to beat it, but not too easily, because if you do it too easily, then it means you're wasting characters that you could put in other lineups. So, for example, if you have C Viper, M Bison, and Beast Zangief all in the same lineup, that's a great team. But you don't want those 3 together. Now we've got 5 teams to think about. So you want C Viper on one as the main damage dealer. You want M Bison on another as kind of the win condition, just keeping everyone alive. And then you want Beast Zangief as a win condition on another team. Beast Zangief, in my opinion, is the win condition. That's the one I try to hold on to as long as I can, is my Beast Zangief. But you want to kind of hedge your bets. You want all these things spread out so that every team has an advantage, has a way to victory. So C Viper takes care of it for me on the first one, barely, but that's what you want. You want to just barely win. Team 2, here we have a Guile focused team. And this, I've been playing Street Fighter Duel every single day since its release a year and a half ago. Not once before this have I used Guile to complete a single campaign stage. Not once, until it came down to 5 teams. And he's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but he is not for me. I hate how he's a C1 and a C3. He's constantly losing his combos. His damage is great, but he doesn't help anyone else. He doesn't have synergy with anybody. Anyway, that's my quick little rant. I don't like Guile. I'm not a Guile fan. In any case, this is a Guile comp. M Bison and Abel for survivability. So it's just Abel putting out his C1, shielding everybody. Otherwise, it's Guile. It's Guile's super, and then C3 that does all of the damage, most of the damage. Bison does a very healthy amount here as well. Bison is my win condition here, and then Guile happens to be my DPS, but he's not one that I would consider to be a win condition fighter. It did take several tries, but again, that's what you want. You almost want it to take multiple times on each of these levels, because that's how you know you're not overpowering it. You're not wasting fighters. There's a lot of really close losses before this one pulls it out. Next up, fight number 3, I'm running a Dhalsim comp. I've got Dhalsim and Fashion Blanca as my primary damage dealers. Zangief is up there for survivability, and Summer Yang in the back throwing shields on everybody. What happens with Dhalsim comps, I always say it's about getting to Dhalsim's C3 twice. Generally speaking, unless you're really underleveled or really overleveled, if you're able to get Dhalsim to his C3, you're able to complete the combo chain at least twice, That generally does so much damage and leaves so much burn on the fighters that you'll be in good shape from there. So that's what this is about. I love using Toxic Love with this comp. So right out the gate, we send in that heart, and Hugo ends up taking the bulk of their damage. That's part of what keeps my team alive, and then I'm able to keep things going. I do Dhalsim's Super, Summer Yang C1, Fashion Blanca C2, and of course Dhalsim's C3. So it's all about getting to that C3 twice. And it ended up working pretty cleanly. I remember thinking, this is one I might have to like dumb down or remove a character and put in a weaker one so that I have more fighters for later if I get tripped up. But obviously it ended up working out just fine for me. So let's move on to the next one. Now we have an Akuma comp. I recently got my Akuma to Triple S plus 2 stars so I could work on his soul power, and I got his soul power up to plus 80. And that gives him enough extra survivability and damage boost that he's really become an important character in my lineups. I'm using E Honda because he has that bullet wall. We're against a Dhalsim here, and the bullet wall will stop Dhalsim's super, which does a ton of damage. This is kind of the inverse of the strategy from the last battle. They've got the Dhalsim this time. Their goal is to get Dhalsim to his C3 twice. Really, they only need to do it once. So your goal as the defender against that Dhalsim is to take Dhalsim out before he can get to those C3s. So that's kind of the goal. And Akuma obviously attacks the back line. That's why I chose him. And then E Honda can throw that bullet wall up. We also have the Cami Vega X move in here, which allows you to start a combo string without the combo gauge. You don't need to have it filled to start a new one, but it's specifically on the backline fighter, and there are some important things to note about damage, so make sure you understand the move, but it allows you to get another combo string in when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And when you're doing something like stacking Street Poison C1, that's especially important to get those combos off quicker and keep those stacks building. So that's what's going on here. Otherwise, it's all about Akuma getting in and assassinating Dhalsim. If you don't have Akuma, this might be the place to put your Sea Viper in the mix. The point is, eliminate Dhalsim, then you'll be good. Here we are. This is the 5th and final team for this stage, and I was really proud of myself. I kept my Beast Zangief out of the mix this entire time. So first, what I'm trying to do is swag him. I'm trying to do this without even using him, just to see if I can. I almost get away with it. As you can see, I'll let this play out for a little bit. I do end up switching over to Beast Zangief, and I'll show you the winning comp. But I got really close here. If I had kept pushing it and I wasn't so, drained from the last 4 battles, I could have won this with enough RNG. In the end, I just wanted to complete it. There was no advantage to swagging Beast Zangief, so I did put him back in the mix. That means our lineup is going to be Rich E Honda, and keep in mind I only have an A+ copy here. This is not a built Triple S Honda. I have no vehicles, no fighting spirit because he's only A+. But that's all you need. That super is really, really important. That extra combo gauge changes a fight dramatically. I'm using Fire Adon here because he's able to rattle off his combos quickly, and I'm just used to using him because he's in the meta for all the boss fights with Flame Chun-Li and Street Poison and Rich E Honda already. So I'm just used to kind of having him there. I have Elena trying to keep everyone alive with her healing. And then I had Cami Vega in there. That I ultimately decided, okay, let's pull in my boy Beast Zangief and let's just finish this. And that's exactly what happened. However, at first I was a little bit worried. So you'll see in the first one here, the timing is maybe a fraction of a second late, but it's correct. Like that definitely should have gotten the interrupt, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Remember, each of those hits has a percentage chance to give you the interrupt. And even though my timing was more or less correct, it just didn't happen this time. So sometimes that's going to happen. The reason I left it up because it's important to note that Combat Guile's super eliminates my entire team. So it's not optional. I must shut down this combo string. So we're going Rich Honda, Elena's heal, wait for the enemy to pop their, there we go, pop the super. Now we can do Beast Zangief. They're interrupted, and Fire Adon to finish things off. I'm going to play that back again, and I'm going to slow down the part where I get the interrupt because that's the most important thing to note. A little bit before the enemy combo gauge reaches full is when you want to start things. And then right as it's full, so the 1 pops up on their gauge underneath their health bar, that's when you do your C1. You wait until you see their super start before you press Zangief's C2. To add a little extra bit of insurance, you can also hit an X move at the same time or like a fraction of a second before you hit Zangief's C2, because it will actually freeze everybody's animation a little bit and give you a few extra frames, giving you extra chances for an interrupt. A quick little tip. By the way, at some point here in the future, I'm going to sit down and do a proper video exclusively dedicated to how to do interrupts. Remind me down in the comments of other videos if I don't get around to this. I need to do that. Because we have Rich E. Honda in there, we only need one interrupt, because we're now going to get off 3 full combo strings before the enemy can get to their second combo. So all we had to do is wait it out until they start theirs, shut it down, and then unload. It's going to be over really quick. Even an A+ copy of Rich E. Honda is perfectly fine for this. There you go. That is how to complete level 40-24, the first 5-team stage in Street Fighter Duel. Hopefully this gives you some ideas for other 5-team stages as well. You can see what works for me, kind of the win conditions that I focus on as I'm building my teams, the X moves that I save to use for just the right comps at just the right moments. All of these little things will go a long way in conquering these difficult 5-team stages. If this did help you out, please be sure to leave a like on the video, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and join our Discord. We've got a Discord channel set up. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. We'd love to see you there. It's a really positive community. Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It was good to talk about some Street Fighter Duel again. I know we've been a little lax on these videos lately. Hopefully we'll get some more things going up soon. I'm excited. I have about 500 turtle tickets saved up. I was saving them all for part 2, so you are definitely going to get a video of me recording my polls for that. I'm going to try and get Triple S, Raphael, and Donatello if I can. So I'll watch for that video coming up. And shout out to us down in the comments if there's anything in particular you want us to focus on or do a video for. We're here for you. Hope to see you in the Discord. See you next time. Peace.